I've seen a lot of people post about astrological events and how they affect them. And I thought, do they really affect us? If so, how? If you're interested, watch the rest of this video. One day, my husband went to go do some work, and he always asks if it's a good time, good day, whatever it might be for him to do work. And this one day, he was told no. So of course he had to find out why, and he was told it was because of the moon was void of course. He came and he asked me, "Hey hon, what does moon void of course mean?" And I of course said, "I have no idea, I've never heard of that." So we had to go look this up. And that's when we started to learn about astrological, as they're called, events that take place and how they could possibly affect individuals. Honey?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you remember how that was supposedly affecting you?
Oh, yes. I wasn't getting data accurately.
Oh, so it switched you from high speed to dial-up mode?
No. What happened was, when I receive information, it's frequencies, right?
Right.
Well, when there's this void of course, that's what it's called, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Sounds like I'm saying of course. So when there's this void of course, whatever's going on in the atmosphere, it scrambles the frequencies.
Oh.
Right, so if anything that you're receiving, you don't receive properly because the frequency is scrambled.
Got it.
And that's why the Ascended Masters did not want me to do any work, because they knew that whatever they were sending me would not come down properly because I wasn't prepared.
Okay. But that's when my husband went through and found all this information and was guided on what to do to make sure that that never affected him again.
And that's the key, right?
Mm-hmm.
See, yes. Does it affect people? Yes. Is there a way to correct it? Yes. Nothing in the universe can affect you to the point where you become a victim. And that's what the Ascended Masters teach us. We are never victims. We are never hopeless. So they took me through that as a lesson, as you know.
Yes.
Right? I had to go. They could have explained to me, here's what it is, and we'll fix it for you. Instead, they said, you go figure it out, because they know how I go.
Yes. My husband is more scientific in his approach to things. So he spent at least a week, maybe a little bit longer than a week, doing all kinds of research. And then he spent another week or so trying different things to come up with a solution on his own. And as he got closer, I think that's when his spirit guide stepped in and said, okay, you're on track. Adjust
here's
this,
a solution.
change this, and there you got it.
That's pretty much what happened. Because as you develop in the spiritual realm, the Ascended Masters and your spirit guides always want you to be independent. They don't want you to depend on anybody at all. So as you progress, they start to step back a little bit. They allow you the freedom to learn on your own. Mm-hmm. Just for you guys to understand, that's how it works. Okay? You're never supposed to think about yourself as helpless. So there's nothing in this universe that takes place that you should feel like, oh, well, I can't do anything about it. That's not true. You can fix anything with the help of your spirit guides and your Ascended Masters.
That's right.
Anything.
And because of that experience, my husband also got the information to be able to help other individuals who were being affected by astrological events. And once the work is done on them, that's it.
You don't have to
they don't have to worry about it ever again. It will not mess with them at all.
So if as a matter of fact, we could say this on this video, that if you ever received a message saying that balancing work was done on you, that's part of balancing work, because this is how we get you in balance. There's some other things that are involved. We won't go into those, but the astrological influences are one thing, that we take care of. Not us, but the angels and the Ascended Masters take care of that, so that you're never ever negatively affected by that again. Plain and simple. So, does that affect, do astrological events affect people? Yes. But it can be corrected.
Yes.
Is the thing. Now, some examples of astrological events, I'm not familiar with them. I remember something when I was doing research about Mercury retrograde, I think it is. But I don't know what it is.
I'm not sure what that is either.
And the reason why I don't know what it is, because I'm not interested in what it is. Only because, not because it's a bad thing or good thing, but I just want to know how to fix it. And I know how to fix any astrological event now. So it doesn't matter what it is. I don't have to go through all of them. As long as it has something to do with astrology and it's affecting someone negatively, it can get fixed.
Right.
And that's all I need to know. But I don't know if you're aware of some of them you could mention here.
Well, I've seen people post about, oh, the moon is in this phase and it's making me feel like this, or it's a full moon and I'm, there's all this awareness and all this energy. Then you also have different eclipses that take place, or the changing of star constellations throughout the year. And these are things individuals write about and saying how it affects them. Well, if you want to avoid those non-beneficial feelings, come see us.
Right.
Complete a consent form. We'll make sure that it's taken care of.
That's correct. We're not saying it doesn't happen. It does happen. You can be affected negatively by those events. The thing is, though, it's also very easy to remove those negative effects from you, and then you're never affected by those events again. So they could happen whenever. It doesn't matter to you.
That's
if
right.
you have a full moon every night, you don't care. Like me now, I don't care about a void of course.
That's right.
I remember you had to track it for me.
I did during those weeks when you were doing your research.
Right. My wife literally had to check. She actually found an app that she would look at and say, okay, here's void of course. And it was almost like every other day or something.
Right.
It was
right.
at least once or twice a week.
Oh, yes. It was more like every other day.
Right. Which was strange, but we're like, okay. And then I had to do work when it was not the void of course time.
That's right.
And that's before I figured out how to deal with it. Now, we didn't even check for that because we don't need to.
Right.
It doesn't affect us. And the individuals that we knew that were affected by it, they've been taken care of, so they're not affected by it either. So, I hope that answers the question about that. Now, you talked about how, so you've seen posts about their energy shifts and other things like that?
Oh, yes. A lot of individuals are writing about how there's this big energy shift going on in the world right now, and that there's all kinds of energy being sent down to the earth from other beings, and that it's supposedly affecting us, and people are their bodies are out of whack, and they're having all kinds of physical reactions.
Okay.
To me, of course, it sounds like possessions and attachments, but I'm not going to tell everybody that because that may not be it. You could be being affected by this stuff, but I have no idea. Is any of that possible? I mean, I'm sure it's possible,
It's possible. Anything's possible. The thing is, though, again, as part of the balancing work that we do, we take into account things like that, where there are energies from other places, from other planets, from other dimensions. All those things are taken into consideration to make sure that if they're positive for you, then of course they'll be fine.
Right.
But if they're affecting in a non-beneficial way, then of course they're taken care of. We make sure that they don't affect you that way. Again, that's why we don't spend time on watching television and anything like that. We don't need to, because we have the tools that takes care of anything that could create negative effects on us. All I can say about those posts or whatever people are concerned about is this. I have seen documentaries about when the Sahara Desert was one of the most fertile places on Earth, right? I mean, it had rivers, it grew all kinds of things. You had a thriving tribe. And look at it now.
Yes, barren desert.
Okay? So why do I bring that up, you think?
Well, I know, because the earth always balances itself out. So if there's a desert in one area, well, there's going to be lush rainforest and thriving waters and plants and everything in another area.
Good point. The other point is this. there's always a shift taking place. Okay, there's no special one-time shift that takes place. Not too long ago, I heard about, the Aquarian age is here. I heard about that one. I don't know what's so special about it because I'm still waiting for, it's apparently already arrived.
Right. Well, I've read many things about it, that the Aquarian age arrived back in the 1980s, and then I read that it arrived recently in the past few years, and like, well, how do you know if it's even accurate? And does it really matter as long as we're just doing what we're supposed to be doing?
Exactly. And that's the thing, right? If you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, and you see yourself as someone that is not a victim, but you know that you can handle these things and make sure that you stay balanced, then what does it matter what's coming or going?
I don't think it does matter.
It doesn't matter, okay? And we're not taking this lightly. What we want to impress on everybody here is that there are always changes taking place in the universe. Always, constantly. We recorded a video about colors of the day. What was the point there? It's energy that comes down every day.
That's right.
Every day there's specific energy coming down. Isn't that an energy shift then?
Yes, it will, because it's shifting from one type of energy to another every day.
Every day. Not every 50 years or whatever it is. Every day. Yet still we're not concerned about it because we know it's beneficial energy for us.
Right.
So anyone that's concerned about anything like that, contact us. We will help you with that. Settle down. It's nothing to be scared of.
Exactly.
Right? There are always changes taking place. There are always shifts taking place. Whether it's astrological, whether it's biological, whether it's with the planets.
The weather.
The weather changes all the time. So changes are always taking place. It doesn't mean that it should affect you in a negative way. You shouldn't convince yourself or start accepting the idea that, well, because it rained today, my bones are hurting. Now, of course, it did that to you in the beginning. But again, that can be changed. Again, we're not saying those things don't happen. You're not imagining them, but they can be changed. All right? Where they don't affect you in that way any longer.
Okay. I think that answers our question. Well, the question that was given to us.
Okay. So, folks, contact 190 Vision if you feel you're being affected in a negative way by any of these changes or shifts or astrological influences or even weather changes. And we will help you get that under control so you can manifest your best life.
Remember to subscribe and like this video. Join the Facebook group 190 Vision to connect with others on the same journey. Get help by visiting our website 190vision.com. Support the 190 Vision mission by clicking on the donate button, which is at the bottom of each page of our website.